Hello everyone and welcome back. You guys seen me load up this piece of machinery when we were doing gear stands for Dad and Grandpa, and I haven't said too much about it, but we're gonna get into it this evening and in this video and see if we can make it run and if it works. This is I believe it would be pronounced Jari. It was made in Minneapolis and I dated it towards the 50s, 60s. Dad has had this for a very long time. I've never seen it run. I don't know if he's seen it run. I don't think he has. But essentially it's just you can see these teeth here. This is just a hedge trimmer, and you would hang it with these brackets here on the front of a boat. And you would start it up and the hedge trimmers, would oscillate, and you'd cut out weeds in the front of your cabin or lake or whatever. And he's had it for a very long time and it hasn't ran. So what we're gonna do first is, this is I believe either chain or belt driven. We'll find out when I take this cover off. We're gonna get that disconnected and we're gonna disconnect this engine. And we're going to work on the engine and see if we can get that to start first. And then we'll work on the rest of this. But it's a very unique piece of machinery. Show you guys a little bit more on it. Very unique. Got the old school engine. Barely read the tag. It's very sun faded. You can see here's the I'm not sure if it's belt driven or chain driven. That will be, it has a clutch bar on it, so I'm hoping that it's belt driven. Nice little grease fitting on there. I've never seen one of these work. My research brought up very little information on it. There just doesn't seem to be many of these left, so we're gonna give it a try though and see what it is. One thing I did when I brought it in here is I sprayed down these bolts with WD-40. I removed the spark plug, which was actually, I didn't even have to use a wrench. I just put my socket on there and twisted it by hand. And I sprayed some WD-40 in that cylinder, and it's just been sitting now for a little bit because I didn't want anything to get, I don't know, I didn't want things to break, or I wanted things to get maybe loosened up a little bit. So I did do that earlier today. And yeah, so let's dig into this thing and see if we can get the cover off and get that disconnected so that we can get this engine off. Okay. Belt driven. Funny thing is, this belt is probably older than I am. So we have our idler, and oh, it's not even that. Let the oil it. There we go. Look at that. That is so cool. I am going to blast this thing with a blowtorch to kill all of these spider eggs and stuff. I don't know how many of them are still here to hatch, but we're going to take care of that because the garage is warm and they might start to move. So let's take care of that first, and then we'll work on getting stuff disconnected. Take care of all these spider nests. The garage is warm, and this was out in the cold, and I don't know if anything is left alive in here, but I don't need any habitat forming in the garage. I didn't see anything moving around, but just to be safe. There we go. grab it. Tight on it. Excellent. Oh, yeah, cool. Oh. Not metric, especially if it was made here in the United States. Oh wow. Gosh, this is kind of a pleasure to work on something that comes apart. There was 2 of these keepers on the pulley. One on each side. Little Allen head. So I lightly tapped on this with a hammer. It didn't free up the pulley and I don't want to mushroom it out. So I got this pulley puller. And these things, this is one of those tools where you use it like once a year, once every 6 months. There's really no good replacement other than having this. So let's hope that this works. Normally with this I'd use like a regular like ratchet, but I'm going to use this impact because the vibration would probably actually help. It's coming now, you can see it. Pretty hard pull though. Probably a 10 mil. There we go. So here's just a 10 mil little socket. And this will allow me to get 1 inch more of bite. Should have just done this right away. Deal. There it is. Alright, so it's pretty hot. I'll show you. So you can see just how hard that puller had to do its job, but that's okay. Pulleys are cheap. Get quite a few questions on these videos of people, and they'll ask, how did you learn how to do this? Did you go to school for it, or how'd you learn? And you guys are right here learning with me. All it is trial and error. Take it apart, pay attention while you do it, and put it back together. The steel here, see the crack? Needs to be re-welded up. So this one doesn't even matter. Look at that. Okay. Last one off there. Look at the buildup from underneath there. That engine hasn't been off of there in a long time. Okay, let's just set this to the side. Okay everyone, here is the engine. Now my first look, even when I was taking off the engine itself, is it looks like at some point someone has been in here because a lot of this hardware is just loose. Even on the muffler here. So someone has been in here at some point in its life. And maybe that's why it's not running or whatever. Kinda, what engine is it though? Here we go. Clinton Engines, made in Iowa. Maquita, Iowa. Fuel and oil. Oh, it's a 2-stroke. Huh, I thought this would be a 4-stroke. Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, it's just a little 2-stroke engine. Huh. Little fuel tank. Does it have fuel in it? No, it's empty. Oh my goodness. 10 mil. Wasn't expecting that. That's even loose, and that shouldn't be loose. Phillips over here. Oof. Got that cover off. No mouse nests, just a lot of... how loose that is. Just a lot of tree debris. Actually, it has good compression. Wow. Huh. That's good. Let's do some cleaning here. It's the old Champion spark plug. Made in USA. J-12J. A little bit of oil buildup on there, but we'll get that off. I am so surprised this thing... Huh. I'm very surprised with this machine right now. I feel like a little bit of gas and she'll fire up. The big thing is going to be, what's this, the fuel shut off? Yeah. Even that works. Oh, maybe that's a choke. Anyways, let's get this cover off. Guys, you gotta look at that carb in there. You guys can't see it. That carb looks like clean. Weird. Okay. Oh, good. Oh sweet, there's a little piece of plastic and it pulls most of it out. I think I'm gonna take the bowl off and just look at it. There is a, I mean, with how this thing looks, the tank is dry. With how this thing looks, it almost looks like they would have ran out of gas. Like, it just looks too good to be true. 11 millimeters fits on there. Everything about this is just coming apart so nice. They had to put this thing away the right way because this just looks so clean. Wow, look at this. It's like nothing in there. Little rubber washer. Wow. Especially for being a two-stroke, whoever had this definitely put it away right. I'm just double checking the float looks good. I'm gonna run just a string of steel wool in here just to get that little bit of corrosion stuff out. This is unusually in good condition. No complaints about this machine. It looks in fantastic shape. Okay. Okay, so this is our choke. A little bit stiff. Should be stiff. I don't know. I mean, the tank looks clean. As clean as it should be. Old cork gasket on the top. It's pretty cool. Push that back. This here might just need some oil on it. It's probably been a long time since somebody's yanked on this rope here. One thing you probably don't want to do is take this apart if you can help it, because it's been the odds of finding replacement parts are probably pretty slim. Oh, loosened up. Unbelievable. Tight now. Doesn't look like that's right. be a really hard one, but looks like somebody put it away right at some point. And it's making a big difference now. Oh yeah. Got the dribble already going. It's okay. But we won't think about it. So we'll choke it here. First start, and who knows? Probably a long time. Okay, so the other day we got started on this and the SD card filled up on this camera. It never did start for me. I believe we don't have spark. This thing probably has points. And so let's check the spark here. I'm thinking we do not have spark. It doesn't look to have any sort of on-off switch. Let's see if I can zoom in on there. So you'll see a little spark if we got one right there. Oops. Yeah, we don't have spark, which is all right. This spark plug looks to be in good shape. So let's take this cover back off and see if we can get to, I believe it's going to have points. So typically nowadays, if you're looking at a flywheel on a small engine, like the Argo is a good example, there's magnets built in, and then all your electricals on the outside. Points are on the inside, and points tend to get dirty, which, thinking about it, all this stuff was kind of loose, so maybe they knew that the points were bad, and they're trying to get to it, but they just couldn't get into it deep enough. That could be a possibility. But regardless, normally all it takes is a good whack with a hammer and the flywheel would just pop right off. Show you how typically it works. So you put this nut back on there so you don't mushroom out the threads on the shaft. And then I'm going to get a pry bar and a hammer, and I'll show you the combo here. So with your pry bar and hammer, tip this thing over, put a little bit of tension behind it. I can't really, it's kind of small. I don't know if you've seen that, but it did move out, I believe. Yeah, see how it's loose now? So normally that just kind of breaks that rust. There we go. So you see on these ones, there's your magnet. See how rusty that is? That would have never made any sort of anything. And then here is all this. Look at that nice crack in there. But let's hit this with some compressed air and see if we can just clean it up enough to see what's going on. It's a little rusty. Looks like some moisture got behind there. And yeah, she's looking a little bit rusty. And this thing is cracked on this side and going over to the other side. Show you that. See that crack? So it's cracked here, and then over here, a little bit of a crack. So Clinton 0013, original. Sweet. So what I think I'm gonna do is take some steel wool and work on this side of it, on the flywheel side. These are little metal strips, so I might have to use a wire brush to get in those. It's hard to see here. There we go. Kind of see it's cleaning up. Still looks like it has a good layer on it, but okay, now for this whole thing, I might get I have a drill brush. I might put this in the vise and just drill brush most of this rust off of here, because I think that would help. Okay, once again we're just looking. Of course I don't. No spark. Okay, so just gonna test the circuit. Got these alligator clips, so I'm gonna put red on red and red on hot. Should be the hot side, and there should be. See that? 678. So that's just saying that the current is flowing. 678. See that? So it's a lot of rust on the top, and it wants to. Okay. So I think that would indicate that we just have more cleanup work to do here on the top, because it is pretty like rusty. But like I said, I'm trying to go about it lightly because I don't want to take away too much of it, if you will. So we're gonna. These ones seem like they were getting good connection, but this one I think matters the most. And so I'm gonna sit here and work and clean this up until it'll signal better. All right, so I got this thing set up again. I just cleaned this for a second. Shiny metal. Hit that. We got our ohms going through. I move it to the junky stuff. We're gonna have nothing. So I think that would just be years worth of condensation building up. These fins should be more free like these ones. So I'm just gonna keep blasting away at it. That must just be years of crud buildup. Still a tiny bit of rust on there, but let's see. What could it be? Not getting anything out of that. Maybe I'll work more on the flywheel side. This still has all that stuff on there. I'm going to work on the flywheel side and see if we can get something out of that. Okay. So I cleaned it up the best I could. Still nothing. So I loosened up the 2 bolts on here. I'm going to try to remove, at least pull this thing off of here temporarily, because I need to see what is happening. And when I move this wire out of the way, it was almost like this whole thing wanted to go. So it might be, yeah, right there. That might be an issue. It's all corroded in there. So in here, there's one little point, and this cover comes off. So let's explore here. See that? That's a little point. Doesn't actually look half bad in there. Alright, so we're going to do a part search. Cover. Clinton 0013 coil. Oh, you can buy it still. So I bet I can go. Let's take a gander here. What we got? Two wires. Okay. Let's see that. So this whole thing must just, you'd unbend this tab and it would slide off of there. Oftentimes I get the question on every video, how did you learn to work on this stuff? Well, here we go. It's not working. Let's take it apart and see how it works so that next time I understand it. Oh man, it has to just come right off of there. What a pain, eh? It stinks. Oh, that stinks bad. Put the denter in. I mean, why? This thing will not. There we go. There we go. Still though, it's just tight, like it just doesn't want to give up. There we go, come on. Okay. Figured that would happen. Okay, we got the point system here, taken apart, cut apart, and I need to order this up. So this will be the end of part 1 on the Jari weed cutter. I'm excited to hear this engine run because these are literally like the best running 2-strokes. So we'll get this ordered up, and then I'll check back in with you guys so we can see it actually working. But yeah, so we'll get back to you when the parts come in. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.